Timber! Well, hey guys, Eugene here from Review Outdoor Gear. You saw some of that introductory footage of me using this beautiful axe here. This is a council tool. This is the 3.5 pound Dayton axe with a curved handle, and the item number is 35DR36C. And you guys know, some of you might know, the council tool is made in the USA, as it says here. It says council tool. As some of you guys know, they make axes for the Forest Service and firefighters and other things like that, and they make pretty good quality tools. We have, I think, about 3 or 4 axes from them now, and probably will be getting more because the steel on them is actually pretty decent. And this is like a felling axe because of its length here in the handle. We'll measure it here and weigh it and everything else, but we've been using it out here in the woods, felling these trees, and you know, it's working great. By the way, before anybody complains about us cutting down trees, please watch a video that'll be popping up here in the information button about why in the world we're cutting those trees down, and I think it'll make sense to you. But getting back to the axe, the handle is pretty nice. It wasn't coated with, you know, like a varnish or a lacquer or anything. It had some kind of maybe a beeswax covering or something like that. We didn't put anything else on it, just left it the way it was, and it actually is pretty comfortable. A little bit slippery, and it can give you some blisters, so just you could roughen it up with a little sandpaper. Outside of that, in terms of the actual handle fit to the head, it has not slipped or moved at all, and we've been using it here for a while. The only thing I don't like is that the handle actually doesn't go out of the eye here and sit above and have the little mushrooming pattern, but it is actually still getting wider as it goes up through the handle, the way they forge these or make these axes. So it hasn't moved, staying in there pretty good. It has a metal wedge and inside of the wood, painted red, and it came with this kind of angled paint here like that, but that's been rubbing off as we go. So it has the USA stamp here, and then it says A16. In terms of the handle, like I said, it's a little bit slippery, so you could roughen that up. It's made out of hickory, American hickory. Actually, the pattern is pretty good. The vertical orientation here in terms of the grain, the way it runs, and the grain, what's actually more important for these longer axes is to make sure that the grain runs all the way through the handle and doesn't go at an angle like this, because that's where it'll start to break. And this axe actually is very good. I can follow quite a few lines of grain down the line. So that's a nice choice on the handle wood. And the handle is very, very straight, properly oriented. I couldn't complain at all about that. Very, very nice palm swell, both directions, this way and this way. Kind of a fawn's foot design. They do have a straight handle option, I believe. So links will be, by the way, in the description if you want to purchase this axe on Amazon. It's a good deal for the axe. USA made, like I said. So right now let's weigh it and measure it real quick for you. All right, guys, so here, let's measure the handle real quick. I'm gonna go from the very outer eye here of the axe and to the back, and that's like 35 1/4 all the way to there. And then if you exclude the actual axe head, it's 32. So that's pretty good. The swell, or the widening here on the shoulder before the eye, is about 2.5 inches. And then the actual axe head itself is 7 inches there. And then the cutting edge is 4.5 inches running this way. Actually 4 5/8 to be more precise. And then the pole here is 1 inch and 3 inches. And then also, if I didn't mention, the actual axe head itself is 3.5 pounds. But if we measure the weight of the whole axe all together with the handle, if you're curious, and that's right at 5 pounds with the handle, a little bit above, like 5 pounds and 1 ounce. They do have a smaller version, or Council has a ton of different axes. They do have a boy's axe that's very, very similar in terms of how it functions, but it's like a 26-inch handle. So overall, it's a very, very good tool. Definitely would recommend it if you're, not willing to spend money on something like a Grand Force Brooks felling axe or one of those other really nice Swedish ones. This is actually pretty good, and the pattern is really nice. It's held up quite well. So in terms of the edge, when it came from Amazon or from their factory, the edge was actually pretty dull and pretty poor job on the edge, but you're gonna have to practice putting edges on anyway, and it has held the edge up pretty well. So we've been felling mostly pine and bucking mostly pine with this, no hardwoods. So I'm sure it would fare pretty well with the hardwoods as well, because it is, knowing other Council tools that we've had, Council tool axes, it should hold up pretty well. The boy's axe definitely held up pretty nicely. So right now it's quite sharp. It's catching on my fingers there as I do that. So very, very nice tool. Now to protect that edge, of course, you guys know that from Review Outdoor Gear, we make sheaths for pretty much every axe that comes across our hands, and this is no exception. We've made this sheath for this puppy right here. It doesn't come with any sheath when you purchase it, so if you want to protect the edge, definitely not a bad idea to have a sheath on it. You don't have to though, but we do have this option. So this is a handmade, 100% handmade sheath that my dad came up with, and we've been making her. So it's hand stitched here, rivets in all the corners, a nice welt in there, nice steel snap, steel rivets, and it's formed exactly for this axe. It'll be available on our website as well as Amazon. Links in the description or in the information button if you want to check this out. And we make them specifically for whatever axe you're ordering for. Now just make sure that if you are ordering this, that you do measure your axe head, and just make sure that that from here, from the toe of the edge to the back here, it's about 7 1/8 plus or minus about 1/8 of an inch, and then make sure that your cutting edge is about 4 5/8 plus or minus 1/8, because sometimes they do have a little bit of variety, and that's when you run into trouble with misfit. And if that does happen, if it does misfit, we will definitely replace it for you or solve the problem for you. So that is that for the sheath, and that is the Council tool Dayton pattern axe, 3.5 pound 35-inch handle. So I hope you enjoy the review. If you guys have any comments, questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. We hope to bring more reviews of axes coming in the future. Thank you guys for watching the video. As always, don't forget to praise God for everything He provides for us, and I also think we thank all of you guys for watching our videos and all the support that you guys give us. So hope to see you in the next video. It's been Eugene from Review Outdoor Gear. Later.